Hello everyone, I'm Aveline. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So, I promise this is going to be the last luxury house that we're doing for a while. It's kind of it's gotten a bit much, hasn't it? I'm sure that some of you at least are a little bit tired of the whole like luxe or luxury brand that is floating around a lot right now, but just inspired by the kit, to be honest. Which I mean, okay, a lot of people also got the kit because it was free, or it is free still. By the way, if you haven't picked it up, why haven't you? Go pick it up. At least until the 17th of October, I think it is. So you can find it on Origin, and I'm sure also EA Play, although, or EA App, or whatever that is called. But I don't know about you guys, but I find Origin a little bit easier to navigate, if you will. Anyway, so that's probably why a lot of people are building these sort of more like luxury minded houses, myself included, these days, because we have a new kit. So that is also free. But this house, I wasn't actually planning on building a tiny house the other day when I started this. I've also already built the house that's going up on Saturday because I'm actually doing a 48-hour readathon over on my other channel, so if you want to check that out, there is a link to my booktube channel in the pinned comment and also in the description box. But so I've kind of been like preparing a little bit so I can only do like voiceovers, or I only have to do voiceovers and then finish up editing and stuff. So it's just all taken care of. All the like recording the build, the bit that takes the longest, is done. So the build for Saturday is already prepared and not completely edited yet, but already prepared. And I promise it will not be a luxury house. Or, I mean, okay, that's, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. But the plan wasn't actually to build a tiny house or anything luxury for this build, to be honest. I just went on Pinterest, and I think because I've been looking at a lot of both interior that's been inspired by the new kit, but also exteriors that I felt would fit with the new kit as well. Because of that, I saw this house. It wasn't even like, it was only a very small portion of the house that I saw, and I'm pretty sure I saw the back of the house, but I decided, you know what? I like what I see, so I'm gonna see if I can make a house out of it and then do as much as I could with that. So that's what we're doing this from. Like, that's why, I don't know if that's making any sense, but you know, what's new? I don't feel like I make sense half the time anyway. But yeah, so it's just kind of inspired by a picture that I saw on Pinterest, but it wasn't like a whole house either. So I just kind of have fun with it. I played around with platforms, but I'm pretty sure the original house didn't have any platformage whatsoever. It's just kind of what I felt like adding. Also, I like playing around with platforms. I think they're fun to play around with. It adds another like touch to the build, if you will, although a little bit complicated at times, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a bit of a puzzle sometimes. It's fine with a tiny house like this where you only got one door that leads to the outside. Yeah, there's just one. Then it's fine, but as soon as you got like more than one door leading out of the house, that's when the puzzle really begins. So but yeah, I don't know, I was very inspired by it. It also had an awning at the front of the house that was, it looked a lot like the awning that we have from the kit actually, but not entirely. But I was just like, you know what? I think I can do this. I think I can try to build something like this in The Sims. So this is the result of that. If there's anything, my computer's making noises, by the way, if you can hear anything in the background. I don't know, she's being weird. Just ignore her throwing a tantrum over there. But if there's anything you'd like to see from me still built with this pack, or any other pack actually, let me know in the comments. So far, I think I got some ideas for next week. I'm not like huge on planning themes and such when it comes to, it's more like what I feel like when it comes to Sims. I just kind of jump into it and then see what I feel like doing on the day that I start recording. But sometimes I'll be like, actually, I feel like it's about time that I revisit like boho or something. So I do sometimes think about themes before going into it, but sometimes I won't. So if you got anything you want to see, anything specific, definitely let me know, so I'll take it into consideration. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna go with the flow. So as for the color scheme for this house, I almost actually ran with sort of the same color scheme that I did for the family vacation home that I did last week, the last house that went up on the channel. And I think it was like this sort of warm orangey kind of wood tone, like a medium sort of wood tone, not light, not dark, just kind of straight in the middle. And then throw some white and some gray in there. But then I remembered that I'd just gone for that color scheme, so I decided to change it. However, I didn't want there to be any like actual color in the house. I tried, or I played around with the idea of adding either some green or some blue, but it just didn't feel right for this house for some reason. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit minimalistic. Not saying you can't add color into minimalistic or minimalist interiors. I just don't feel like that fit with the house. It's a very small house as well. The colors can be a little bit overpowering when you add them to smaller houses like this. All of a sudden you have this sort of want to be minimalist interior, and then there's like a very color in there. It just didn't really feel right. I don't know how to explain it, put it into words, but hopefully you get my point. So instead I decided to just go with this very light, not very saturated wood tone that you can see. That is one that they're using a lot throughout the Dream Home Decorator kit. That's a game pack. Yeah, the Dream Home Decorator GP. And then with a lighter gray and also a white. So it's quite a light, soft, very calming sort of interior. I think I'm also slightly inspired by a lot of interiors that I've seen on Instagram that I haven't actually been from like interior Instagram pages, but from fashion girls, because I don't follow any interior pages on Instagram. That's weird, isn't it? I don't know. I follow a couple of architecture sites or accounts, but not really anyone who does interiors. So don't know why that's a thing. I don't know. Maybe I just prefer coming up with my own or something. I don't know. But yeah, I've seen these sort of like lighter, sort of kind of lighter, bright, or not brighter, but just lighter, softer sort of interiors, and maybe was inspired a little bit by that. This little situation over here should actually be working. I know that the laptop is not entirely on the shelf. I couldn't size up the shelf any more than I already had because it would be sticking through the wall, and I couldn't move it further back because then the counter, the island counter that is on the ground, the one that the laptop is actually placed upon, technically, that would be sticking through the other wall. So it's just like it is right now, but just overlook it. I've decided to overlook it. But I thought that it would be nice for them to have this little like office corner over here, so they can still see the TV from that chair, actually. And it did work. Like you saw me play test just now, I did want to check if my sim could actually sit on there. It did work. We're all good. But yeah, it's fun. I like doing this office sort of setups, or just like computer setups, little workspaces, basically just made out of shelves instead of full-on desks, because the desks in The Sims take up a lot of space sometimes. So had a little bit of fun with that, although definitely had to do a lot of adjustments to make sure that it worked, but you know. And then I completely forgot to clutter the kitchen for a second as well. I used I used the new curtain pole bar, I don't know what to call that, as a shelving unit, or just a shelf, by the way, so that's what you see under the fire alarm. It looks very nice, but it is definitely a little bit narrower, so just keep that in mind. You definitely have to use like small, teeny tiny clutter if you want to use it. However, as a shelf unit, however, it does look nice, so. Oh, by the way, I just remembered, but I am considering doing, actually, I'm not gonna say it. I'll let it be a surprise. I don't know. I should not sit here and say all these things that I'm considering recording, because then I'll just forget, and then I'll probably end up disappointing someone who really wanted that specific video, and I'll start feeling bad or something, so I'm not gonna say it. But if there's any tutorials that you'd like to see from me, let me know, and I can sort of decide which ones I feel like I'm knowledgeable enough to do a tutorial on, if that makes any sense as well. I don't know, I feel like I suck at explaining things. Like, if you've been here for a while, you probably know that that's a thing. Like, I just feel like I suck at explaining things. I've always had this thought and I don't really know where it came from, but I've always thought like if I know how to do something or make something, create something, if there's something I know how to do, everyone else also know how to do it, because why would I know something that someone else doesn't know, you know? Like that's a thing. So I don't know what you want to see tutorials on. I know that there's landscaping, which I will have a look at, although it will be done just like the floor plan tutorial was done, so I won't be like creating a landscaping in front of you. I'll be going through my older landscapings, just a couple that are different from each other, and then explaining why I decided to do the landscaping the way that I did, and also how I did it. So yes, I hope that is okay, although we'll probably go with 3 examples this time, not 5, because I feel like at the end of the floor plan tutorial, I was just ranting a lot, even though I really tried to get my point across, but I just felt very ranty, and that's not what I want to do for those videos. So if there's anything else though, let me know. And no, I won't only be doing tutorials like that. I can definitely show you something in real time instead of going through some older build that I've done before. So I just feel like it fits for those more like situational sort of things you do with builds, such as landscaping, but also floor plan tutorials. So yeah, definitely let me know. If there are any tricks you want to know, let me know. And although rotating floor tiles, use comma and full stop. I get that comment every video, almost every video where I do it, or where I like point it out or whatever. Comma and full stop. It's very easy, and I will not be doing a tutorial on that. So that's where I set my line. No tutorials on how to rotate floor tiles, but anyway, I think we're mostly done with the interior now, so we've moved on to the exterior. I think I did change the color scheme of the exterior a little bit off cam actually, because I was just trying to figure out what kind of color scheme I wanted to go for, to be honest. So I was swapping between a lot of them, and like a lot of different swatches of the awning, for example. And I felt like maybe that was a little bit frustrating to see, because that can be a little bit indecisive, and I'm fully aware of it. I'll own up to it. That is the thing. So yes, I've gotten comments on it before as well. I can't help it. I'm an indecisive person. What do you want me to do about it? So anyway, yeah, just decided to do it off cam this time, but we're just playing around. I didn't really have a plan with what I wanted to do for the front of the house, to be honest. When I started, I just started doing stuff, and then it just kind of came together in a way, sort of. I just started doing. I don't know. Wasn't really thinking about it too much, other than since we're building on grass, I wanted there to be a fair amount of plants, although I actually ended up placing them in this like sunken down platform area. I don't know. I feel like it looked good. It was either that or frame it up with a half wall, and I don't really like the idea of half walls at the edge of, I've done it before, but I don't love the look of like half walls at the edge of a lot. I don't know what it is. So it would look like it would be a wall. I was about to say it would look like a wall at the edge of the lot, but it also would be a wall because it's a half wall. So that makes sense. But yeah, don't really love it. So I ended up doing this instead. And then in this like sunken down area here on the left side, I am going to be placing a bonfire as well, because they're just cozy. So there's a bonfire there with a couple of chairs as well. They have their pool over on the right side, where there's both a seating area, but also I think I placed down a bar, not the grill, but the bar. See, normally I would keep this area to the back of the house because I do feel weird about everything being in the front yard. However, the build that this was sort of inspired by, half inspired by, I only saw what I think was the back of the build, so I just kind of went with it like this. The back of this house is super, super plain, by the way, which is actually the reason that I prefer to place these sort of things at the back of the house, so you don't end up with just basically like a plain wall at the back of the house. That's the whole thing that I could rant about for a long time. I like the house to look good all the way around. Like, yeah, just when you circle around the house, I like everything to be a little bit detailed. but not today. The lot is quite small. So, but yeah, I think that is pretty much it for this build. So I hope you guys like it. If you do, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tutorial files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box down below, but also in the pinned comment. And again, if you want to check out my booktube channel, there's also a link to that in the pinned comment, but that's all I got for you guys today. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!
One step forward and another back, I would never try to fool ya. I'm one heartbeat away from going mad. Girl, when you're looking like that, closer, closer, I'ma get closer to you. Yeah, got me, baby, got me hooked on you once again. Girl, I need you. How many times do I wanna yell? 'Cause we could be so complete. Baby, I'll never want anyone new. I was on the bed and you undressed. Baby, when I pulled you in and felt your breath, then I knew the girl I need you. You're smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Every moment is another chance. Loving you is all I wanted. I'm wide open for a love affair. Girl, when you're looking like that, closer, closer, I'ma get closer to you. Yeah,